Welcome back to my channel, Logan Speed Shop. Today, doing something I've been looking forward to for a while. Going to dress up the little 13B. Got it sitting here on the stand. Got a table full of parts. Gonna get them all on there. Gonna try and film as much as I can throughout it. But hey, see what happens. At the moment, already got a pile of raceworks packs in the bin down there just from setting a few things up. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what she's all like together. Definitely going to change the look of it, having a few more parts on it. It's bloody tiny now. Already painted the irons and chucked a joist plug on there, chucked the billet cover on there from Franklin Engineering, and yeah, we're ready to go. Still got to work out, well no, just got to cut that off. Got to measure the resistance of that for one of my mates, and yeah, just get things done. Gonna be honest, don't really know where to start. Kind of want to just get into it, do it all at once, but start with the water pump. Water pump's just an old bugger. I painted up. Still felt alright when I spun it round, so that's okay. And then we got the housing. Already welded a dash 16 onto the bottom, dash 6 on the back for turbo water. Just looking at that. Hope that doesn't leak. Worst case, pull it off and I fix it. But yeah, chuck some gasket glue on there. Gasket glue on the front, and we'll get her on there. Slide this bugger on there gently. Missing the holes, of course, but getting there in the end. Glue on the back. Just gonna do the water pump. Ooh, didn't clean that up. Quick over that with the razor blade. Alright, let's try that again. She's all glued up, ready to go on this time. Didn't bugger it up. Well, she's all cleaned up, I should say. Chuck some hardware in here. Next up, we got a couple of bits of Franklin Engineering's kit. Got their pulleys. So water pump and crank. The water pump on first. Oh, finger straight in the goo. And got the crank. It's nice and easy. Oh, they sit close together. That's alright. A couple of bolts in there. So close to the bloody marker hitting the pulley. I hope it does have a marker around it. Hope I don't have to mark that myself. Going to quickly pull the crank pulley off, work that out. Now I'll chuck some hardware on there, get that nice and tight. Move on to the next part. I guess start into the fun bits. Get the exhaust manifold sorted. Chuck the wastegate on, then we'll get everything mounted onto the car. Next up, we got an exhaust manifold. So this was a SDR item. Welded the flange on for the 50mm gate. Actually recycled this from the old setup. Still looks good enough. Chuck this on the belt sander. Managed to true up the edge a bit. Same with this one. And just got the die grinder in there to clean some of the welds up, as they weren't the best. Not the worst, but not the best either. Chuck the gasket on there. Chuck this on there. This one's easy. One-handed, like nothing. Chuck some nuts on, should have some new ones. Yep, get that on there. Do I put the, I reckon I'll chuck the intake manifold on next, then the turbo, then we can start to see what it all looks like. Well, that's not right. The two top holes don't line up. What if we flip it around? There we are. Stupid me. I was thinking something had gone wrong with the engine. Different parts to the different gasket, but no. Just back to front. Alright, let's cover the other side. Alright, we got that stuff on there. That basically just helps the gasket work a little bit better. Probably doesn't need it with this OEM gasket, but hey, better to be safe than sorry. Just get this bugger on there. Start with the 2 nuts. What's on my mind, before I quickly do up all the rest of those bolts, just got the little nuts loosely on the back. The exhaust manifold, it's like it doesn't seat properly at the bottom, but everything is as tight as it possibly can go. I'm thinking it might just be the fire rings in the middle just holding it out a little bit, as it is tight. It's just a bit of a mess with my head situation. Tempted to pull it back off, but I reckon I'm just going to run it. If we get an exhaust leak, I know where it is. It's not hard to get that off anyway. Alright, fuel rails. Start with the little bugger. So we've got Raceworks injectors. Just had the plugs on there as I want to make sure I can actually get them on and off. Must have grommet. But yeah, so we've got Raceworks injectors. Already pushed the collars into the housing. So already in there. Let's get these buggers in there. Probably need 2 hands just so I can line these up straight, but you guys get the idea. These 2 here, little rail on top. Let's get that on there quickly. And then we've got the other Raceworks rail. He goes up on top, nice and easy. Collars on the bottom. Played around with the positions of the plugs again, just so I can get them into the best possible spot. Because hey, I want to make life easy on myself. And chuck some tape on here, as that won't get sealed properly, as I have to do the wiring, and you got to pull the top off to get to the plugs. So work smarter. So the throttle body will be able to get bolted on properly. See, I've ported there, so we'll chuck that on in a second and get these fuel rails in. Jesus Christ, just spent about 15 minutes trying to get these 2 O-rings that are meant to sit under here to go in. Obviously they're not in, so that'll be a comeback to later. Only got 2 bolts holding the throttle body on. Doesn't matter, this bit isn't currently going on, but we can see we've got all the injectors, all the fuel rails in, which is good. Actually, before I chuck this bugger on, I need to chuck this one in just so she's all in position. This adapter is actually wrong. I just want to see what everything looks like in the right positions, and that way when I make lines, I've got the sensor there, so I know where it's going to be sitting. Just have to order that adapter on my next parts order. But yeah, let's chuck this bugger on. Try not to drop it, working with one hand. Sounds like it's resting on the fuel rail, but she's also lifted at the back. Let's hope she clears. But get some bolts in. Quickly tighten these up, and then we'll check the clearance and get a couple of other little buggers on. Starting to look like a motor, at least. Starting to make me more happy seeing it all together. Alrighty, we got this little bad boy painted up. Got a, well, oil fill thing, funnel. Oh, it's got a dash 8 welded onto the front of it. Placed in there at the moment. Need to whack it with the mullet. Nice replacement dipstick, which is covered in bloody schmutz. See if we can get this off. Oh, I hate when stickers do that. Alright, hold the line, let's get this off. All that sticky crap is off. And gave the spout a bit of a whack down as well. The old dipstick's pretty wrecked. But before we put it in, let's measure up. Not real stoked on that measurement, but it looks nicer. We'll just keep the old one aside at the moment. And she's tight. Just gonna have to put some oil on those. Let's get this bad boy on though. That's what I really want to see. That way the engine start looking like an engine. Stop pissing around with the dicky. Actually, hear my ADHD kicking in real bad now. Get a new oil cap on there, just so we don't drop something in the engine. All these little holes I will block off as well. Don't tell me that's a different thread. Maybe it is. Might have to chuck the old oil cap back on. Bugger. Oh well. Nope. Was just doing it wrong, screwing it on wrong, but she's on there now. Alright, let's get this bad boy on. See if I can position the camera for you. Should be right. This turbo won't stay on at the moment. Ooh. My alarm telling me I need to eat. But let's get the turbo on first. The turbo is going to come off again as the bolts I'm using are slightly wrong. And I might have to move the drone. What am I dealing with here? Bloody hell. This is the battle. Oh no, this will work. One bolt through, bolt on the ground, another bolt. The bolts I'm using are about 10mm too short, so I'll just finger tight everything up nice and snug as much as I can. And I'll come back to that once I order some more bolts. Alright. 2 bolts finger tight on there, real loose. I need to get the others on there quick, but just want to show you what she's looking like so far. So far, so good. Kind of just had a bit of a scramble, knocked a few things out quickly, chucked the fitting in there. So oil pressure temp, so we've got water pressure temp, and we're going to have fuel pressure temp as well. We've got all the fittings on the turbo, including for the drain, so I can make all the lines, fuel lines there ready, one water line there ready. The other water line for the turbo is going to run from the other side of the thermostat. I know it's not the best routing, but we're going to have it from this bugger. This will be a swirl pot. He'll have a dash 16 coming off about there, running towards the radiator, and on the back he'll have a dash 6 that'll run to that water feed. Still got to finish it off, and at the top will be a radiator cap as well. So that'll be where you fill the water up rather than the dicky spout that sticks up in the middle there. So at the moment we'll chuck this on there, that way I can keep mocking everything up. Oh well. Starting to look like a motor. Starting to run out of time as well on my night, which sucks, but hey, I only do so much. All I want to finish off with is chuck plugs. Actually, I won't chuck plugs in, I still got to gap them. I'll chuck the oil filter on though, just so it's not looking at that dirty bugger at the back there. And I'll do plugs later on. At the moment they can sit over on the shelf. Easy enough done. Forgot to say what the turbo was. So it is a Yourmiles turbo, a G35 1050 with exhaust housing that's probably too small, an 083 I'm pretty sure it is. This is a turbo that I ended up getting off mate Troy. He bought it, I don't know why he bought it, but he bought it and trying to sell it. Not the most ideal turbo, but pretty close to what I was going to buy. So you got to help a mate out if they're selling something that you pretty much need. Buy it off them. That's what I did. And here we are. It's on there. It looks the part. Let's hope it performs as well as it needs to. 300 kilowatts all I need. 300 kilowatt low boost and I'm happy. I reckon I'm going to have to call it a night there. Let's get that motor sitting straight. It's better. So yeah, you can see the idea of the swirl pot there. Still need to square off the top of that. Tomorrow night I'll probably finish off making up all the lines. So we got oil feeds, we got fuel, we got a few water lines, oil drone. Got to cap these guys as well, just for the oil cooler. Oh well, I'm happy. Good to see it coming together. Makes me a lot happier having all the parts on something. A couple of days later and I'm back. Had some success. Basically sat down on the couch one night with the throttle body and worked the O-rings in. Probably took me about half an hour, I reckon. It was an absolute fight. I was pretty pissed off by the end of it, but we got there. I don't know if it was just poor technique or what, but yeah, the throttle body's actually mounted on there properly. See, there's a little bit of alloy dust everywhere, just from working away on the floor, working on the bench. Got the lines all made. Got oil feed, one fuel line, water line, another water line, and the drain line. Drain line's not the best route. We'd like to finish off a little bit lower, but got to work with what we've got. And because of the big drop off the turbo, it should be fine. Got the bolts to replace the turbo to manifold ones with. Just haven't had a chance to put them in. Made a bit of a boo-boo on one of the last calls. Didn't want to gap the plugs. Forgot these plugs don't need to be gapped, so I chucked them in as the style of plug isn't one to gap. But yeah, working away now on the swirl pot. It's probably going to burn me. Just been welding. So I've got the dash 16 welded on the front, dash 6 welded on the back. You can see the cast's gone a little bit funky from all the heat. And now outside I am just cutting up the caps so I can put them on the top. That way I can mount a radiator cap. Don't know if I'll do the bottom because I still have to level it out. I say that, but I'll probably end up doing it as well. And just had to grind down the inside of that as well. So here's the old thermostat. Thermostat will fit in there, as this was originally destined for an LS1 and I've repurposed it for the 13B. Wait until I get the real thermostat. I might have to grind down a little bit more on the inside. It's bloody hot, keeps burning my fingers, but happy with how my welds came out. So we'll get the caps made, I'll smooth them off and I'll do a little bit of welding and get this bad boy on there. Wait, start to see what it all looks like together. Otherwise I am happy with how this motor's looking. It's good. Verified my timing mark as well. Turns out when the counterweight sits between these two, that is top dead center, which is good. You can see it's moved a little bit since I had it, but yeah, pretty much bang on. Both the caps done. I'm ready for a bit of a fight. Once the top one's done, I need to put a hole saw for it. Really, I could have made these caps with a hole saw, but I don't have one the right size. So this was easier. A lot of work on the grinder, burning my fingers and all that jazz, but yeah, we're there now. Try and center it as much as I can. And let's run some tacks and make it nice and pretty welded. There we have it. The top is on. Normally on something like this I grind it off smooth, but I reckon I'm going to leave it this time. Drill the hole and put the other bugger on. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Do I do the bottom now? Nah. Let's make the top look pretty first. That way it looks like it's what it's meant to do. I'm happy. It's actually come out how I envisioned it. I thought I'd change how the dash 16 looked a bit in my head, but I am real happy with how that's coming out. The top is welded on, so we've got a radiator cap, we've got the overflow bottle bit which will point to the back, which I'll run that down in a bit of a braided line. Sweating my ass off out here. Now I just want to smooth off the bottom and then I can cap that too. Then this is pretty much done. Ready for, well, a couple more test fits. Make sure the thermostat works in there correctly as it should. Then I'll paint it up, make it look perfect. Like that, we got the bottom on. All complete. Looking good, I'm happy with it. I enjoy little fab jobs like this. I definitely want to do some more of them just so I can improve, get my techniques better, practice different things, work out what works better for me, and just get smoother and more consistent. But yeah, let's get this bugger on there. This will be the last thing I'll do to mock the motor up. There's not much else I can do before she's ready to get in. End up getting that dipstick in. By Christ, it's not going to come out. Bit of an issue, but yeah, let's get this bugger on. And just like that, she's all together. Happy man. Just chucked a random radiator cap I had lying around, just a nice side one because it suits it. But I got something special on its way for this motor, along with a few other parts from Japan. But here we go.